If this is a problem, if you try to handle the problem with something that's called an excuse, the only way for you to know if you're handling the problem with an excuse or with the real reason for the problem is the only way for you to know if you are dealing with the real reason or with an excuse is the following. Once you have the real reason, the problem is not a problem anymore. Not in your mind. I'll give you an example. Once you have the real reason for, let's say there was a cure for AIDS. Once there is a cure for AIDS, they have the real reason for the problem. They found the cure. At that moment, AIDS is not a problem anymore. The car is not starting. Once you find the real reason why it's not starting, you can fix it. It's not a problem anymore. Once you have the real problem, the real reason for the problem is not a problem. It might be a barrier, but it's not a problem. Okay? So what I want to tell you is that all the reasons that you wrote that you don't have more time and more money are not the real reasons. You're dealing with excuses. Because otherwise your problem will not be a problem. You will not consider it as an issue. Does it make sense to you? It's not nice to hear, but it's true. Actually, you will see that when you use an excuse, the problem grows. And when you use the real reason, the problem disappears. Okay, so the first thing I want to tell you is that you don't have the extra time and money you have, you don't solve the problem you want because you don't have the real reason for the problem. The real reason is hidden from you. And this is something very fascinating. The law could be that if you try to solve a problem, if you try to solve a problem and the problem is not solved, you're trying to solve the wrong problem. If you try to solve a problem and the problem is not solved, you're trying to solve the wrong problem. Using an excuse, you use excuses because you're solving the wrong problem. Okay, does it make sense to you? When you try to solve a problem and the problem do not get solved, you're trying to solve the wrong problem. This is really very fascinating, amazing. But you are in love with your problems. You are in love with your problems because it is your problem. How do I know it? If I will give your problem to someone else, if you have a problem and I give exactly the same problem to another person, I take exactly, this is your problem, yes? This is your problem. But I give it to someone else. He has exactly the same problem as you. If he will ask you how to handle it, you'll give him the perfect advice how to handle it, but you will not be able to give it to yourself. Which means you know. Which means you love your problems. You keep it alive. Okay, a problem, this is really fascinating. A problem, the definition of a problem is two opposing intentions. I want to have money, and the physical universe say no money for you. This is a problem, yes? So a problem is a problem only as long as two sides are 100% sure that they are right. But if I will delete my side, if I will stop pushing, you understand that this thing cannot have any force on me. If you take two people and two hands, and two hands, one push against each other, two people pushing their hands against each other. This is, maybe I would draw it like that. This is one arm, and this is another arm, and the two guys are pushing against each other. This pushing against each other, this point with the pushing against each other, this is the problem. When one side stops pushing, the other side cannot generate any force, which means you create your own problems by pushing, by actually continually putting it there. Does it make sense to you? Yeah, does it make sense? So the fact that you have a problem because you love it, because you're continuously creating it. And what we're starting to do now, I'm going to start teaching you how to handle problems and how to actually find the real reason for the problems and so on and so on.